A supposed recording of Pikesville High School's principal making racist comments towards students and staff.
And then it turned out that audio was artificially generated.
The deepfake confession that almost got an innocent man jailed. January 17th, 2024, Baltimore, USA. In just 6 hours, one 42-second audio clip turned a respected school principal into the most hated man in the city. 2 million views, thousands of death threats, police protection at home and work. But here's the problem, he never said those words. Today, you'll learn 3 real stories that'll make you question whether you can trust your own eyes and ears. These people lost everything because of technologies we consider helpful. The first story happened just a year ago in America. The second, 3 years ago, but its consequences are still felt today. The third shows that deepfakes have already infiltrated courtrooms, and any of us could be the next victim. Story number 1. Eric Eiswert, 45 years old, principal of a prestigious high school in Baltimore, father of 2 kids, spotless reputation, until January 17th, 2024. That day, a 42-second audio clip appeared on Instagram.
Between these ungrateful black kids who can't test their way out of a paper bag, or these teachers who don't get it, how hard is it to get these students to meet their grade level expectations?
A voice that allegedly belonged to Eiswert was saying words that make your blood run cold. The voice in the recording was mocking black students, calling them ungrateful and unable to succeed. It made racist and anti-Semitic comments about students and teachers that went viral instantly. In 6 hours, the clip got almost 2 million views. Hashtags demanding Eiswert's firing flooded social media. Civil rights activists with hundreds of thousands of followers publicly demanded his license be revoked forever. But the worst part started after. Death threats, hundreds, thousands of threatening messages. Strangers were writing that the world would be better without him. Police had to put security at his house. Security at a school principal's house. Eiswert was suspended from work. His own colleagues turned away from him. Kids at school were crying. Parents demanded explanations. The whole city was furious. 2 months. For 2 months, this man lived in hell. And then, police arrested 31-year-old DeZone Darian, the former athletic director of the same school. Turns out, he used artificial intelligence tools to clone Eiswert's voice. The motive? Basic revenge over a work investigation related to an unauthorized $1,916 payment. Just a few seconds of real voice, and anyone can create an audio clip that'll destroy your life. Darian spent less than an hour and ruined a reputation that Eiswert had built for decades. Story number 2, and it's even scarier. Robert Williams, 42 years old, regular American from Detroit suburbs, loving father of 2 little daughters, 2 and 5 years old. He couldn't imagine he'd become the first person in US history arrested because of an artificial intelligence mistake. January 2020, someone stole $3,800 worth of merchandise from the upscale Shinola watch store. Detectives took grainy surveillance footage and uploaded it to Michigan State's facial recognition system. The algorithm gave a result: Robert Julian Borchak Williams. Match found. And here's where it gets really scary. Picture this scene. Robert is standing on his front lawn, playing with his daughters. Suddenly, police cars pull up, flashing lights, sirens. Officers arrest Robert right in front of his family. His wife Melissa is in shock. The 2-year-old starts crying. The 5-year-old screams, watching her dad get put in a patrol car. When Melissa asks where they're taking her husband and what for, the officer responds coldly, "Look it up online." In the interrogation room, the detective puts 3 photos in front of Robert. 2 from surveillance cameras, grainy, blurry. The third, his driver's license. Robert looks at the photos and sees no resemblance to himself. The suspect in the footage is much bigger with different facial features. The only similarity? Skin color. And then the detective says a phrase that reveals the whole truth about this system. I guess the computer got it wrong too. Got it wrong too? So they knew the system often makes mistakes, but still arrested an innocent man. 30 hours. 30 hours Robert Williams spent in jail for a crime he didn't commit. And at home, his little daughters were asking mom where daddy was and why police took him away. You know what's the scariest part? The suspect in the footage was wearing a red St. Louis Cardinals cap. Robert, a Detroit native, would never wear a rival team's gear, but nobody bothered to even ask about that. Nobody asked about an alibi. Nobody asked where he was that day. The computer said so, and that's it. A man's life destroyed. For the arrest, police asked a store security guard who wasn't even a witness to the robbery to pick a suspect from mugshots. The guard picked Williams based only on blurry footage. Story number 3, and it shows how far people are willing to go using these technologies. 2020, United Kingdom, divorce. 2 former spouses fighting for custody of their child. Typical situation that happens thousands of times every day worldwide. But this woman decided to use a new weapon. At the court hearing, she presented an audio recording, allegedly threats from her ex-husband, a man's voice, shouting, threatening physical violence, emotional, cruel words that could have forever stripped the father of the right to see his own child. The judge was ready to rule in her favor. The child could have been permanently separated from their father. But the man's lawyer was smarter. He suspected something fishy and sent the recording for expert analysis. Fake. A cheap, primitive fake created using publicly available software. The woman used widely available voice cloning tools to make the recording sound like her ex-husband's voice. This was the first recorded case of deepfakes being used as court evidence. First, but definitely not the last. Imagine, if the lawyer hadn't suspected the deception, the child could have grown up thinking their father was a violent person, and the father would have lost everything most precious in life. If these stories shocked you, hit that like button and definitely subscribe to the channel. There are even more incredible stories ahead about how technology is changing our world, not always for the better. Now, let's figure out what all this means for each of us. According to Georgetown Law's Center on Privacy and Technology, at least a quarter, 25%, of all U.S. law enforcement agencies already have access to facial recognition technology. But here's what's really scary. In most cases, people aren't even told that this system was used in their arrest. Haney Farid, a computer science professor at UC Berkeley who consulted with Baltimore police on the case, warns, anyone can create similar deepfakes, spread them online, and very quickly destroy someone's life. And this definitely won't be the last case. Hear that? Not the last. And here's another terrifying fact. There's no federal deepfake law in the US. None at all. Nobody knows how to fight this. Academic research has proven facial recognition systems are several times more likely to misidentify people with dark skin than white people. This means Robert Williams became a victim not only of technological error, but algorithmic discrimination. And what happens to the children of these victims? Robert's wife says that their father's arrest was their daughter's first encounter with police. It will shape their perception of law enforcement for life. In Darian's case, investigators found he had a paid account for OpenAI Tools, the same company that created ChatGPT, though it's unclear which exact service was used to create the fake audio. These 3 stories are just the tip of the iceberg. Right now, while you're watching this video, new deepfakes are being created somewhere. Somewhere, a facial recognition algorithm is pointing to the wrong person. Somewhere, someone's life is being destroyed by technologies we created to help ourselves. Robert Williams asks a question each of us should ask. What if this wasn't retail fraud, but rape or murder? Would he have even made it home at all? Tomorrow, any of us could be the victim. Your voice could be cloned by colleagues seeking revenge. A surveillance camera could recognize you as a criminal. Your ex-partner could fake your words in court. What can we do? Spread information. Demand new laws from authorities. Be critical of what you see and hear online. Share this video with friends and family. They need to know about this danger. And in the comments, write, are you ready for a world where you can't trust your own eyes and ears? Because that world has already arrived.